First, I would like to wish you all a Happy New Year. And just as a nice little Dvar Torah here from the Kollel over our break, we wouldn't want you to go any time without having a little Torah. So we're not sharing it over Mishmar, but here we go. We have Parshas Vayechi, and really an amazing Parsha. It's the end of Yaakov's life, and he is giving the blessings to his children. And what stands out strongly is really the blessings to the two children he doesn't really bless. He tells Reuven and Shimon and Levi that they acted inappropriately. It says, by Reuven, it says, Pachaz kamayim al tosar. You shouldn't be so hasty, right? Because Reuven acted inappropriately with it when Rachel passed away. And by Levi and Shimon, when they attacked Shechem, he says, Orah pam kiyaz, that your brazenness should be cursed. But what's amazing is that Yaakov Avinu never directly tells Reuven, Shimon, or Levi, you are bad. You did wrong. Rather, he says that trait needs to be worked on. And what's amazing is that this really teaches us a tremendous life lesson, is that the person is really okay. The person is great. The person is wonderful. Okay, this action that he did was not necessarily so great. This character trait that he has, not perfect. But the person himself is an amazing thing. And that is something that really helps us grow and retain amazing relationships. And really, what we have to realize is the Chovos Halavavos tells us that anything that happens to us is really directly from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As the way I like to explain is, if a person decides to hit somebody else, right, who allowed that hitting to happen? One would think that it's the person who threw the punch. But in reality, the person who threw the punch could have had a brain aneurysm at that moment and he would have dropped dead. And he wouldn't have even been able to fully throw the punch. So really, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu sending us that message. Now, sometimes it's really difficult to live that way, and it's hard to separate the person and the action. But every single day we daven, at the end of our Shemona Esrei, we say, "V'nafshi ke'afar lakol tiyeh," that our soul, we should be like dust to everybody else. And if we really try to internalize that, then we will really understand that what did we deserve? What are we supposed to get? We're just here to try to do our mission as best as we can, and Hashem sends us what we need. And if we have that attitude, then no matter what happens to us, we'll always be thinking straight. We won't ever get, what just happened? I'm like totally flustered, right? That was the amazing strength of those from Kelm, is that, as the Chazon Ish describes, Kelm was like a slow stream, that you could put any storm in the world that's going on, but that stream is going. Nothing distracts it from its mission. And you see this at least in two places. You see Yaakov Avinu, where he was supposed to be marrying Rachel. He worked 7 years to marry Rachel. And what did Lavan do? Gave him Leah. He could have blown up at the guy. He could have said, what a terrible father-in-law. I am leaving. But he didn't. And he stayed, and he said, okay, you didn't give me Rachel, I'll work another 7 years. And what did he end up with? The 12 Shvatim and 2 wives, and he basically took all of that Lavan had, and he brought it to himself. Yosef and the brothers is another perfect example. Yosef was sold into slavery by his brothers. He could have held that terrible rage that he had the entire time. And what would he have done when the brothers came? He could have put them in jail. He could have killed them for all that we know. And what would have happened? Klal Yisrael wouldn't have existed. But instead, he decided to realize that everything is from Hashem for whatever purpose. And now we have the Klal Yisrael that came because of such thinking. So even though sometimes, you know what, life is tough, and there are challenges, a lot of challenges that come our way, and sometimes it doesn't seem to go the way we would like. But if we keep this attitude and we say, really, it's not the person, we have to understand that sometimes everybody is not perfect, but the person is gewaldic. The person is wonderful. He just may have to work on something. So then we'll be able to grow from things that happen to us instead of tumbling. We can retain great relationships instead of becoming just full of enemies and evil. So with this idea, hopefully we will continue with all of those bumps and challenges that happen in life, and instead of becoming broken, we move on forward and become great. Have a great Shabbos.